Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
I'm Alicea.
And welcome to episode 25 of Adventures and Mousecapades. This week, I'd like to welcome Kathleen Turner to the program.
Hello, everybody.
That's actually my best friend in the world.
Hello.
She's a little sick at the moment.
I am.
She has the plague of the year, or the plague of the last few years. Yeah, so...
I joke that I sound like Roz from Monsters, Inc. Wazowski.
Always watching.
Where's your paperwork?
Yeah. So anyhow, so she has our penthouse suite upstairs, and we have a room service. We drop off food at the on a table outside the door.
Knock on the door
and run.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn now.
It is. It was my turn back in January, and
yep.
And everybody took good care of me, and now it's time to repay the favor. So,
yes, just stay away. It seems to work.
Exactly. Anywho, so today we had a request from the socials to talk about tips for going to Disney and going to the parks with younger kids. And we have a little bit of experience with that. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of people have struggles. We've had some struggles of our own.
Yes.
But we've also had a lot of good success. And we have kind of 10 hot tips, if you will, to kind of talk about how to help you with executing a park day or a few park days with your littles in Disney parks.
And littles can be anywhere from, newborn up to honestly, 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah.
Because every child is different.
Yep.
And how they deal with just the stimulation of the parks, everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of these tips are good for just regular adults without kids too.
Exactly. We use several of these tips still to the day.
Yes.
So tip number 1, I like to just say, in fact, I wrote it down in our notes in all caps, reset expectations.
Yes, indeed.
You may have been that rope drop person. You're there first thing in the morning and you just go all the way to the end of the night. You hit the fireworks, you do the, get in line for your favorite ride at 1 minute until the park closes and you're waiting another hour. That doesn't work with little kids.
Yes. And
I think to reset expectations.
I think this actually needs to be reset expectations and be flexible.
Yes. Yeah.
Things are going to change. Sometimes right away, sometimes maybe a little bit farther on in your vacation, but you need to be able to go with the flow. It's not going to be the end of the world if the ride is down. Now, it may seem like it at the moment, but you need to be able to pivot and find something else to take attention away from, oh, I'm sorry, Little Mermaid is down. Find something else to do.
Yep.
Get your kiddos somewhere else. It's okay.
Yep. And be prepared for the unexpected. I think Alicea would agree with me that one of our worst, if not the worst, parenting moment that we ever had was a meltdown in California Adventure.
And at Carthay Circle.
At Carthay Circle.
Yes.
And Sterling, he was 3 or 4, I think 3 at the time. Mm-hmm. And he fell asleep during dinner and slept all the way through dinner. In fact, I think when we get there, we'll have to post this in our trip reports. But I have a series of pictures of him slowly falling asleep, and it was really cute. But when he woke up, he had bit flipped, and he went from amazing kid all day, and it was a nightmare. It was me personally, it was my worst parenting fear of like in public and having a nuclear meltdown from a kid. Anywho, just be flexible.
Yeah.
Let the kids do their thing. Like I wound up taking Sterling out, and there's this little kind of courtyard next to Carthay Circle. And it was like, he didn't want to be held. He didn't want anything to do with me. He was kicking and screaming. And it was just like, okay, buddy, here, you have this whole little courtyard. Go run around, do whatever you want. I'm not going to let you leave because I don't want you to run away, but go work it out. And I will say I ended up bribing him with a flashy Mickey wand to finally calm down. Because that's the only time I ever bribed one of our kids, and that was it. And it was worth it. But yeah, just be flexible. Like that was not our plan. We had, as part of that Carthay dinner package, prime seating for World of Color. And we wound up being too late to get to those seats. And we just kind of like, we still had fun. It was still great. You just go with the flow.
Yeah. Kids have, what's the word I'm thinking here? Yeah. You've got to be flexible with kiddos. Sometimes the littlest things can be scary to them or just unexpected. A lot of kids like schedule and things to happen a certain way. Like I'm sure none of you have had a child be upset because their sock is not on the right toe.
Right.
Ever. That
Right.
never happens, right?
No.
Yeah. So little things can set them off. And you know your kids though. So you'll know the little tips and tricks that work with your kiddos.
Yeah.
And little things that we've had to do in the past is just sit down, talk with them, get at their level, acknowledge the issue. Like, oh, I'm sorry your sock is bothering you. What do we need to do? Do we need to get you a new sock? Do you need to take it off? Do you need to flip it inside out? What's going on? You know?
Just play the game.
Just play the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yes, first and foremost, reset expectations and be flexible with your kiddos. Second biggest tip that we have is midday breaks.
Oh yeah. And this goes for adults too.
Yes. Especially if you are like we are, not from Florida, not from the South, where we are not used to hot weather.
Yeah.
Take breaks in the middle of the day. Go back to your hotel for a couple of hours. This is also especially good if you do have kiddos that are still taking naps. It's much better to bring them back to your hotel if you can, to give them somewhere bed-like for them to sleep.
This is where having, like staying on property can be a real big help. Like if you're on that monorail loop, if you're on the Skyliner stop, or you can take a boat back to your room from a park, like that's huge to help facilitate, nap time. Yeah. It's definitely needed. And be flexible, kind of going back to the reset expectations and being flexible. Like our kids are 6.5 plus years apart, and we are totally okay. Like even today of like, we'll just split up. Like one kid with one of us and the other kid with the other, and like somebody's going back to the room for nap time and the other, party's going off to do whatever. Like it's okay. Just be flexible, especially if you're traveling with a large family. Like you don't all have to do everything all together. Like give that flexibility, especially for grandma and grandpa who are going to have their own issues with, trying to hoof it around all the parks and all the rest of that stuff. Just give everybody the flexibility. And maybe grandma and grandpa are great people to go, take the little ones back for a nap while everybody else goes and rides some big roller coasters. Yeah.
I mean, we've had trips ourselves where like you and Sterling went back to the room and Caitlin and I stayed and had lunch and everything. Like her and I have gone back through some trips and been like, how did we do that? We were there the entire day. Like we were there from opening to closing. So that's like 8 a.m. to midnight. And I'm like, I don't know how I did that. There's absolutely no way I could do that anymore.
Well, most of those trips were not in 95-degree heat and 100,000% humidity.
Yeah. So in fact, our most recent trip in August, we took a midday break pretty much every day.
Yep.
And that was probably more to do with the heat
Yeah.
and the sunshine than anything else, really.
Yeah.
Although it is nice to just take a break.
Yeah.
But it was really hot. It was unbearable.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, and we also do park hopper.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a nice thing, especially if you have kind of a longer stay, go do a park in the morning, go back to the room, enjoy the air conditioning, have a lunch in your room or whatever, or a snack, a little siesta time, maybe a little pool time, and then head back into a park and maybe a different park for dinner and, fireworks or what have you. Like breaking up your day can be huge. And, I know like Molly from All Ears is always talking about like, if you're going to rope drop, even as an adult, like go rope drop, get a couple things in, and then have a late brunch at like 11:30 or something like that, like on a monorail hotel stop, like over at Chef Mickey's or something over the Polynesian, and break up that day, because that's when everybody finally gets into the park. That's a pro tip for not just for little kids, but for us big kids too.
Sometimes we need a break. Yep.
Absolutely. Next on the list is snacks.
Yes.
Have snacks with you, especially for your littles that, I have to have the specific, style of Cheerios or the star puffed things or what, like you're not going to find all the time, like the exact thing that those kids really want to have and know what they're used to. You're already messing around with their schedule. Like by its nature, you're messing around with their schedule. So have that familiar, that close to home, that thing they're always used to available for them, and just have, that little comfort of home that's with them. Because you're probably not going to find the same brand of whatever it is in the parks. And even if you do, you're paying 10 times more for it.
Yeah. You can bring food into the parks with you.
Yeah.
There are people that go there regularly, that go to the parks regularly, that bring in their own food. They bring in their own lunches. Number one, to save costs usually, but yeah, you can bring in snacks. You can bring in applesauce for the kiddos, or like Nathan said, whatever is familiar to them.
Yep. And then along with snacks, drinks. Now you can bring in water bottles.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be able to bring in like your adult beverage bottle, but lots of the restaurants, if you say, hey, can I get a cup of water? Like that's free with your meal or with your snack. There's places where you can fill up your water bottle or whatever, like or maybe even just, buying water bottles or whatever you need here, there, and everywhere. Keep your kiddos hydrated, because the moment they get overheated and dehydrated, like they're done. And that's when things go awry. So just like for yourselves, keep yourselves healthy. Make sure you keep your kiddos hydrated and drinking.
Yeah. And cups of water are complimentary at quick service locations.
Yes.
You don't have to order anything. You can just go up and ask a cast member, may I have a cup of water, please? And they will get one for you.
Yep, absolutely. Number 5, don't bring a double-decker bus-sized stroller. We have seen so many people with these Dynaflush Mobile Cruiser RV-sized strollers try to navigate through the parks. And when it's crowded, when you're trying to get on a monorail and you have to fold the thing up, or on a bus, holy cow, like it's just more trouble than it's worth. Just get an umbrella stroller and take it with you.
Disney has started prohibiting some types of strollers. Some wagon type strollers
Right.
are not allowed in the parks anymore. Do check in with Disney to see what is allowed. I know some people do like to have their own personal strollers just because they're easier to maneuver. You can fit more stuff on them. But if there's any way you can get away with using just a smaller umbrella stroller, I would recommend that. It is much easier to maneuver those. They do not take up near as much space. And space is definitely at a premium when you're in like Fantasyland, for example, or different areas in the park. You will see strollers galore, and they take up a lot of space.
Yep. Now, you can rent strollers in the parks. They're $15 for a single per day or $31 for a double. Obviously, you have to return them at the end of your park day, but they do have those available.
You cannot take them from park to park. If you leave that park, you have to turn it in.
Right. And there's no guarantee if you're park hopping that they're still in stock of strollers at the next park. So this is another like, hey, if you need a stroller, bring one. That way you don't have to worry about this. Besides, if you get an umbrella stroller for, okay, I'm going to show my age, but it's been a long time since we've had strollers. But I mean, if, a couple 2 or 3 days, like you've paid for that stroller.
Yeah.
It's just way easier to have one and not have to worry about whether they have one available or not.
The strollers available for rent are hard plastic.
Yeah.
They are not comfortable for the kiddos from what I can see. And they are actually pretty large too.
Yeah, they are.
If I remember correctly.
And they all look the same. So in a sea of literally 75 strollers, outside of Peter Pan's flight, good luck finding yours.
There is actually, you can do a length of stay rental for strollers through Disney. I'm not sure where you need to go for that. You'd have to check online. But it does knock a couple of dollars off the price if that is the route that you want to go. Just remember, near the end of the day, when you're going back to your room, you cannot take that stroller with you. So if your child is asleep in the stroller, you will have to wake them up and get them to walk the rest of the way with you.
Or carry them and everything else that you had in the stroller.
Yes.
And of course, if you're doing that extended rental, you're still subject to availability in the park when you get there. So yeah, there's a little bit of you're rolling the dice a little bit on that stuff.
Our next tip is chill time.
Absolutely.
Chill time is imperative.
And this doesn't have to be taking a break, and leaving the park. Chill time can look like a sit-down meal. That's often what our chill times end up looking like. We may not always leave the park, but we're going to go have a sit-down late breakfast, or we're going to absolutely have a sit-down dinner in the air conditioning and stuff like that somewhere.
Yep.
Just because it's another chance to relax. We're not having to hopefully fight the crowds for a table. We tend to do these as, sit-down dining reservations and quick service. It's just, it's a chance to relax, to get off your feet, to reset your expectations of we're going to have 7.5 minutes to eat dinner, and then we're going back to ride whatever. Like just give it time, let the day unfold. The kids are going to have amazing memories of Disney when they don't feel rushed or stressed or freaked out. Your amazing memories are going to happen when it just happens naturally, and the magic will happen naturally. Trust me, but just give it space.
Another option to think of is consider a non-park day. Now, of course, this is going to depend on your vacation time, how many days you have booked, but do consider taking a day or a half day away from the parks. The resorts at Disney are pretty epic.
Yeah.
If you are staying on property or even at one of the Good Neighbor hotels, it's a good time to just explore the resort you're staying at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then if you still need your hardcore Mickey fix, go grab dinner and do some shopping at, Disney Springs in Florida or downtown Disney in California. There's still plenty of stuff to do. And you have transportation from your hotel to that venue.
Yep.
Just relax. We used to be really bad about this, and we've had some very exhausting Disney vacations. Yes. And I think we're slowly getting better about it. I don't think we've taken a pure resort day. We usually wind up going and doing something else. Like if we're in Florida, taking a day trip down to Cape Canaveral or something like that, or going to see friends, which going to see friends and hanging out, that's definitely a relaxing day for us.
Yes.
But, just have a relaxing vacation. This is why I think Alicia and I both love our visits to Aulani and Hawaii, is because you get pampered and taken care of like Disney, but we don't do a darn thing for like the week or however long that we're there. Like maybe we'll take a driving tour around the island, or go see Pearl Harbor on a day and things like that. But there's a ton of time just sitting outside on the lanai or by the pool and doing a bunch of reading and just chilling out. These are world-class resorts, especially at Disney World, that they're building just these phenomenal destination locations. And it's okay to enjoy those locations for themselves.
I think that's one of the reasons that we like the cruises too.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, we still love our resort stays and park stays, because there's just nothing like experiencing that. But yeah, having a down day is very nice to be able to do.
Absolutely. So if you are in the park and you find out that you are running out of diapers, or, oh my gosh, I'm out of formula, or I need a place to go change my kiddo, or whatever, Disney does have baby care centers in all of their theme parks. They're fully staffed to help parents with infants and toddlers. There's nursing rooms and rocking chairs. There's changing rooms and tables. There's feeding areas with high chairs. There's a kitchen where if you need to microwave something to get warm up that bottle for your kiddo or whatever, you can do that. They have formula, baby food, juice, diapers, wipes, sunscreen, over-the-counter meds. They've got changes of clothes. Of course, there's going to be merch there, right? They've got everything you may need. Also, in these baby care centers, this is where lost parents, i.e. lost kids, go.
Yeah.
If your kiddo takes an adventure on their own, a staff member will bring them to the baby care center. That's where you will be reunited and become unlost, because your child is never lost at Disney World or Disneyland.
They're taking adventures.
And they're taking their own adventures, and it's you as a parent who have become lost. So yeah, that's where you will go. In Disney World, the baby care centers are really kind of co-located near the first aid or with the first aid centers. Same in Disneyland as well. If you're in Disney World at Magic Kingdom, the baby care center is behind Casey's Corner to the left of the Crystal Palace restaurant. There's a bunch of other stuff over there. There's restrooms and things like that. This is at the hub end of Main Street. If you're looking towards the castle, it's on the left at Casey's Corner. In Epcot, it's in the Epcot Experiences building, which is the Spaceship Earth side, but real close to the Mexico Pavilion and the pyramid.
Now, there's a lot of construction going on in Epcot right now.
Yeah.
So there may be a little bit of more roundabout way that you have to go to get there. So if you do need to get to the baby care center in Epcot, make sure you check in with the cast member on the right way to get there.
The fastest way to get there.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that building may not even be called the Epcot Experiences building in another few months or weeks or days or hours. Like, Epcot is changing by the minute, it seems, but that's where the first aid building is. It's basically, go to the World Showcase, like over to the lagoon, over by Mexico, and it's just on the Spaceship Earth side of Mexico. It's right up there. In Hollywood Studios, it's right by the front gates. It is to the left and behind Sid Cahuenga's. There's a one-of-a-kind gifts and antique shop right there.
Let's call it Sid's.
Sid's, sure.
I don't know.
It's the opposite side of the Crossroads of the World, like that circle right when you get in. It's the opposite side from where you rent strollers and ECVs. That's where the first aid center and baby care center is. It's tucked back. It's not super obvious. Just kind of keep walking over there. You will absolutely find it. And then in Animal Kingdom, it's a little bit deeper into the park. It's on the left side of Discovery Island, to the left of the Tree of Life. It's almost to the bridge to Africa. If you need a better kind of signatory or how, where to find it, it's behind the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where Starbucks
is.
Exactly. So it's behind Creature Comforts. And then over on the other coast, on the left coast in Disneyland, Again, it's the baby care center is at the end of Main Street, but it's on the opposite side. So if you're looking towards the castle, it's on the right. It's in the kind of that Main Street building. It's next to the Plaza Point shop, which is right there on the corner. It's just literally just to the left of it. It's across from the Little Red Wagon corn dogs stand next to the Plaza Inn restaurant. And then over in California Adventure, it's in the Pacific Wharf building area. It's literally right next to Ghirardelli Chocolate. So, if your kid is stressed out and melting down, you can get some baby care, and then you can take care of yourself there at Ghirardelli as well. It's literally directly behind Fillmore's Taste Inn if you're over in Carsland, and there is a path. If you kind of go behind the geodesic dome that's there at Fillmore's, there's a path that will take you right, and it literally drops you at the door for the baby care center, the child care center there in California Adventure.
That's a little farther into the park as well.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Number 9, you need a change of clothes for your kiddos.
Yep.
They're going to get ice cream all over them. They're going to spill a drink. They're going to have an accident. They're going to want to go on a water ride, and they're going to get completely soaked, and then they're going to be miserable. Be prepared. Have a change of clothes or two for your littles available.
And if you don't want to carry all of that around, there are lockers available at the parks as well. You can always rent a locker and just, instead of carrying around your backpack of clothes, just stash it in there for a bit. Or if you have room in like your diaper bag or whatever, and you have room for everything, just put it in that.
Yep, absolutely. And then number 10, our last tip, and there I'm sure you could find all sorts of stuff on other websites, but to round out our list today is to take advantage of Rider Switch. This is a program where you can go get a pass and say, I've got a little one, which means that not everybody in the party can go ride Rock and Roller Coaster at the same time. And so you will get a pass where, you and your older kid can go take a run while one parent stays with the little. And then when they're back, it's kind of a shortcut, I'm assuming, into the lightning lane or sometimes back up through the exit to go for the other parent who didn't get a chance to ride to, swap off and go get that experience as well without having to wait through the whole standby line.
Yeah.
Rider Switch is amazing. Super big thank you to Disney for having this program. It really makes it not as stressful or if you have a little with you in your party, you're not put into a situation where mom's not going to be able to ride the roller coaster. It'll be another turn, but you're not missing out on the excitement, on the fun. So Rider Switch or Rider Swap, whichever it's called, is absolutely amazing.
And we have taken advantage of it. And Caitlin used to love it because it meant she got to go on the Incredicoaster twice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Once with dad and once with mom. So yeah, those are kind of our 10 tips off the top of our head for going to Disney with younger kids. What did we miss? What did we forget? Leave us a comment. Help out the community. Let us know and let our listeners know what other tips you have for how to go to a Disney park with a little kiddo and make it a great experience for everybody.
Remember, when it comes to planning a vacation, we highly recommend contacting a travel agent or Disney directly to get the best deals out there.
If you have any questions or suggestions, shoot us an email at podcast@adventuresandmousecapades.com. Give us a follow on social media. We're at Our Mousecapades on Insta Twitface. And, give us a rating and review. Help us in those, Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Help other people find us through those ratings. We hopefully Alicea will be a little bit less Kathleen Turner-esque next week.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that. And we hope everybody out there is staying safe and healthy and having a great summer so far. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.